super exciting. We're at Home Linus as usual. You're on ATV. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for watching all the shows that you have watched before this one. You are good. Jenny, today I don't have Claire again, but trust me, I'm not alone. I'm with very many people. So whenever you're at work, you're doing something, you're either working in an organization or maybe a certain team at home or something, you need some motivation to make you think big, to make you feel something special that you don't always feel when you're in office, the pressure and everything. I'm about to get to you. I'm here with Ramadan. Hi, Ramadan.
Hello, how are
you? I'm okay. When you're at the Remedy, you are not here for an interview, so you are like my co-host today. So introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you so much. Ramadan Chimgo is my name. I'm a marketeer, a communications coach, and a team building coach. Glad to be here today.
Thank you. So you've had team building coach. We're going to be having different activities happening on the show today. I'm not alone. I'm with the CEO, AIT, Empower Youth in Technology. I'm with my whole team, most of the team. Yeah, so producer, you're going to help me show some of them. I'm with the CEO. Yes, that is Ronnie. I'm with Sankara, we are Hanga. I'm with Stuart. I'm with Devin. So we're about to start something so hot. I don't know what, but Ramadan has a whole show for us. So Ramadan, kick it off.
Thank you so much. Precisely what I want to share with you today is to do with a fresh way of approaching work in a work setting so that we get the best out of our teams of people. You notice for most organizations, the routine is 8 to 5 p.m. jobs. And then in some way, we expect people to be able to bring in creativity or innovative ideas that can actually drive these organizations. So I came up with something to do with something that we can incorporate in these work settings in form of activities that bring out the spark in these people and we get the best out of them. So why don't we plan out some activities maybe once a week or maybe once a month where we take these people in an outdoor setting away from the usual environment and we expose them to so many activities that can bring out the best, where they can give feedback and then they learn how to relate so well. Because studies that have been run over the years indicate that for most organizations, for an entire lifetime that you spend in these companies, the company only gets about 20% of value from you. Productivity, they only get only 20%. So the other 80%, there are so many factors in there that block people or companies from getting the best out of their people. So what I'm going to show you today is an activity that we are going to run. And then at the end of the day, we have lessons that we can pick and also try to apply them in the context of a work setting. It's a simple activity. Is the team ready?
Yes.
We are going to run an activity. I'm going to explain to you. We are going to do something to do with
get closer, please.
Guys, you're going to run an activity. It's called a standing tower of shoes. So every one of you has shoes. So what we are going to do is you'll put off your shoes and then you work as a team to put up a tower. Most of you have seen towers. We have this structure here. You have seen arcades around town and the sort. So what you're going to do as a team is to work together and you use your shoes to set up a tower. Once you're done with your tower, we shall be able to see that particular activity and then we see what lessons do you pick from that as an individual and then we try to relate them to creativity and innovation in a work setting. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, yes.
So of course what I'll be looking out in all this is communication. I'll be looking for collaboration. I'll be looking for teamwork.
So should we remove our shoes like already?
Yes,
You're
looking out for creativity. I'm looking out for communication. I'm looking for teamwork. I'm looking for leadership.
Have you guys realized that I'm like the only lady in this team? Yeah, but
so what you guys can do, you remove and
so
then
we're supposed to remove all of them.
and then you use your shoes to set up a tower.
You guys definitely wash your feet, otherwise.
Okay. This is our first resource.
Right, so what do we do? Yeah. Yeah. So what are we supposed to do, Rama? After holding your shoes now.
Now, one thing I want to explain to you in the context of this activity is for you to be able to do anything and you achieve it from the very end, you must have the end in mind. what goal do you want to achieve by the end of something that you're going to do. And that end goal is normally set by the leader. So in an organization where there is no clarity or purpose or what you want to achieve at the end of the day, you're going to show up and people will see this busy person every day, but there are no results that are coming in. So leadership plays a role when it comes to clarifying the end goal to everyone on the team. Then once all that is done, you must be able to define roles. If we want to achieve a profit of maybe 10 million in the next 2 or 3 months or at the end of the year, at the end of the day, we must be able to define roles. We have 5 people on the team. Who is going to do what to deliver on that profit? Who is going to do the marketing? Who will handle the sales? Who is going to ensure that at the end of the day we are managing maybe the digital visibility so well? So you define all those roles, and to define best those roles, you must know the strength of each person on the team. You must understand Ronald, you must understand Sankara, and you know where do they do or perform best and where do they perform not so good, and then I blend them with somebody who is going to bring out the best in those people. So for most companies, they don't get the best out of their people because we have no systems that help to understand what everyone is capable of, and also definition of those roles from the word go. So there is no clarity or purpose. You're showing up every day, but there are no results that are coming in a tangible form. So for this activity, first of all, you must have a leader. That leader is the one going to set the tone in terms of direction. Secondly, the leader must be able to define how you're going to approach the work. We all know the idea is setting up the tallest tower of shoes. That's the end goal. But how are we going to do it? The shoes are now our resources. We have them. We also have you, the human component. Somebody must be able now to know who is going to do what for us to come up with the tower. Who will handle the foundation? How do we set it up? How do we make sure that it's now complete and it's firm enough to keep standing? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Get
Who runs
started.
the world?
So
How do we find leaders? How do we find all that?
That is a challenge for you to work on, because at the end of the day, I'm going to observe what you'll do, and at the end of the day, I'll pick up insights that are going to challenge you.
okay.
And this is, we'll be able to pick out ideas that we are going to actually apply or even relate to what's happening in most organizations around town.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't know how you decide to approach it, but for me, the end goal is I want the tallest standing tower of shoes.
Shoes. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is one team. You
We are
guys,
working as one team, eh?
who runs the world? You guys, go. So start. No, like I'm your leader doesn't mean that they're the ones going to go down. So this one, since they have the look, I think we would make a good heel for the, yeah, so they will be on top.
Hey, don't let this
Come
be
on.
on top. They are weak. So if we make them foundation down, that's let
That
them
was
be.
better.
So these ones I suggest can work as connectors. Yeah. If we, for example, did this and this, then there is something else that is going to connect here, and we build like that. Doesn't work, then we choose something else.
That is wise.
I don't know. We can find a way. Let's do this.
I hope to.
We'll follow.
Okay. Hi Remedy fans, I hope you're not bored. By the way, I hope you're going with us in this journey. So enjoy with us. You can even try it at home. If you have kids and they are bored and maybe sometimes you don't have games to do, you could learn from this one. So
How do we bring in these?
I don't know that it has to be the tallest, eh?
yeah, it has to
How
be
shall we know that this is the
uh,
tallest by the way?
You will see. Just have faith. Did we waste one shoe when we made all of both of them stand? Yeah, we're wasting shoes.
There are these resources we have that are not working like we.
I think we need something more.
Yes. This.
Okay.
You're making two. Yeah, then you can. Yeah.
It's leadership here.
Who is directing us?
No, we're working as a team.
Must be someone directing
But
us.
if you have a suggestion, you can say why.
Now.
Let's just try doing this. This comes in a bit. Ramadan, can you
If it comes in the middle.
Come on, we can't give up.
it comes?
We can't give up.
There's something coming.
Or the foundation is not strong. We are struggling with the weak foundation.
You do that. Add this like this. There's something that can sit here. The second one sits there. Yes, about if it did like this. Let's create another place for this to come on.
Let me put our shoes.
The ones we have are not enough. Build another foundation, just like the floors are done, then that means they could perhaps be like this. And because we do like them like this. Okay. This can come here. That's the shoe tower.
Okay, yeah, this is our shooter. But before you come, Ramadan, I know you've made us do this, and some of us really do not know why. But I want to get minds from my team. Why are we doing? Why do you guys think we're doing this? Stuart has something to say.
Like we said, we're testing teamwork. Like we had to work in a group and see which one who has the different ideas, so that we bring them as one and we combine minds and come up with the best thing. That's why it's a teamwork thing.
Anyone has something to say? This is my CEO, you guys. This is Minister Ronald. So say something. Why did we do this?
Because looking at what we have done, I think if you're one person, you probably might not do this, or you will do it better than we have done it. But at least you realize from the start, it was about let us do this, add this, add this. So all of us combining our ideas, maybe exhibiting teamwork, come up with this. But maybe personally, me alone, I can't achieve it easily, or I can't do it the way we have done it if we have combined.
So we need combined.
Maybe teamwork is what we are trying to exhibit.
Oh, okay. So of course we are hungry.
Well, I'm looking at
Nice talking, Spider.
I'm looking at using the resources we have to achieve what we think we may need, but as a team, without really wasting any resource, without putting any resource to waste. Yes.
It's a good one. I had not thought about it like that. You haven't told us anything. We want to challenge Ramadan. He thinks he's making us do things with him.
Okay, I think us getting together those shoes and trying to build this tower at the end of the day has made us realize that really you can't do something on your own. And at the same time, if you are a leader, if you are the leader who was leading us, and you decided maybe you decide to do what you want because you are the leader, not listening to other people's ideas, and at the end of the day you wouldn't have achieved this. So I think this brings about now communication from all of us, teamwork again, and you the leader not playing how may I say it? The ruler.
Not being the ruler.
Yeah, not playing the ruler.
Alright, thank you.
Maybe one other important aspect I think is combining the resources, bringing whatever little you have to build something very, very important. Yes, maybe I had only 2 shoes, maybe 2 shoes can bring out this, that's a lot big. Yes, and all of us combine, and this is what we have.
And us not having wood didn't stop us from
Creating something.
creating this. We used what we had.
Yeah, that is very true. You guys we have great minds. I have great minds on the show today. So let us go in a very short break. We'll be back. Don't miss. You can't miss this one.
You're watching Ayit TV, empowering you.
Welcome back from that short break. You're still on The Remedy. You are still with great minds today. Let me hope you're using Let's Farm Shop app to get all your fruits from home. And let me hope you're using GuzaUG, www.guzaug on your website.com to get all the products you want, bags, nice shoes. You see my, like, I am so covered because of that. So yeah, Ugandan, and help Ugandans. I mean, support us. You're on Ayit TV, still on The Remedy. I'm with Ramadan and a great team from Ayit TV actually. Yeah. So, Ramadan, before we went to a break, you gave us a task that we did perfectly, as you can see.
Yes.
So, we now want validation.
Okay. Ideally, thank you so much for putting in effort to do this. So there are so many lessons that we can pick from this, and then we actually take back in our organization. The first one is I was not actually looking at you guys coming out in a perfect way in terms of the tower. My emphasis was on the process that leads us to the what? To the tower. Because one thing you realize is that for most organizations, people would be contributing very many amazing ideas on a daily basis, but because there is no that psychological safety here, you have this feeling of there are repercussions if I say this. There are repercussions if I criticize my what? My senior. Because the perception is the best ideas come from the people at the top. So if somebody brings in something, every time the team is always yes, yes, yes. So in some way you're blocking very great ideas from coming up. So for me, I was looking at that freeness that you brought to the process, but also secondly, the kind of leadership that you had. So you notice that because you did not very well understand the roles that were involved in regard to putting up the tower, at the start you got so many challenges because you did not know who is supposed to work on the foundation. So everyone was involved in the foundation. So at the end of the day, you got those conflicting what? Aspects coming in. And remember, when the conflicting aspects come in, you're taking a lot of time to accomplish a task. So at the end of the day, if you have a competitor in the business sense who is out there doing something that is similar to what you're producing, if you're taking long to do something, at the end of the day, they will be so much ahead of you. You get it? Because if I'm producing bread and you're also working on bread, you reach a point where you don't have anything to offer to the market. Because the rate at which you produce and replenish is not the way how my competitor is doing it. So you're going to lose out when it comes to a point where there are no supplies in the market, but your competition can be able to serve people so well because some internal processes are not well defined, which brings about delays, and at the end of the day, it affects the final goal or the outcome that you're looking at. So that's very important. Secondly, when you have the roles that are well defined so well, the second thing is communication is very important. You get the idea. Most conflicts or issues in organizations, they are about communication not being well streamlined. If I have an issue that I want to report, what is the structure like? You notice? And it's about the culture that you build from the word go. If you build your company in a sense that everything is centered around you, you're going to make it so hard for other people to do their work. Because you want to take up everything. You want to do the finance, you want to do marketing, and then at the end of the day, for you're supposed to be providing the support and you empower people to do their work. So you must also define in terms of what? Communication, what everyone is going to be doing, who reports to, so at the end of the day, you come up with this. The other lesson that we pick from all this is that however good or excellent you might be, you can never know it all. You can never know it all, you can never have it. Or somebody else out there, somebody that you may think you despise because they are lower in terms of hierarchy, may have an idea that will actually bring out the best. They can give you some form of advice that will bring out the best in the team. So you realize at the end of the day, if there was only one person to stand here and then build that tower, it have taken you longer than actually the time it took you guys. But because you were working on the team and you're leveraging on the efforts that are coming from this kind of teamwork, you're able to build this. So we need to go back and ask ourselves, how many organizations appreciate the fact that everyone on the team has some value, and how we create that environment and get the best out of them. So that is also very important, because if it was only one person with your one pair of shoes, you couldn't have set up a what? This kind of tower. in an impressive way. So because you leveraged all those efforts, you are able to do this. Now when we get back to our 8, at the end of the day, we have a producer, you have a show host, get it? You have somebody who's managing the digital platforms. But you imagine, somebody cannot be a producer and then you host the show at the same time. That's not possible. So at the end of the day, we are leveraging the competencies of different people to make the dream of a hit TV running possible. Because from the word go, you have defined the roles of what is involved in producing this content and having it on our platforms. So who is going to do what? You clarify. And then you know these are the boundaries. The show host stops here, the producer stops here. Otherwise, people are going to conflict. You have issues where they are not seeing each other. Because I feel you're getting into my what? My area of work. Yes.
I have a question. So many organizations already do this activity somehow. Yeah. But are they doing it to the right purpose? What are they doing wrong that you think you could inform them to get their employees to press their minds? Yeah, that is what we want. Because I'm sure that these activities are being done already. But which kind of activities? When? How? By who?
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, what I can say is that for most of the organizations that run these activities, they are the same throughout so many organizations. So they are not informed by some kind of what I may call a needs assessment to know what are the needs and so which activities can you come up with and you tailor to address those needs. Like for me, for organizations, every organization is unique in its own way. So you must be able to get in, engage the staff, and they provide you the feedback on those areas where they feel they are lacking. You could be having a team of 30 people, but most of them are actually new. You have a few have been there, and majority are just new faces, and they are having issues to blend with each other. Or you have a team of people who have been in an organization for so many years. So there is that aspect of longevity. So when it comes to activities that you come up with, what is it that suits that particular group? So it all starts with needs assessment, which most organizations don't do. Because for some of the entities I've seen, somebody does activities and because they saw maybe somebody watches video on TV, Facebook, they feel they should also have the same. So they come and show you a video and they say, please, we want you to craft this and run it for our team. But one of the things that I always avoid is that temptation of immediately accepting. Because when you accept, you notice that it has not delivered what it should have delivered to the team. So do needs assessment, know specific needs, and then you come up with activities that you can tailor to address those needs at the end of the day. Yes, so if it's about trust issues, if it's about collaboration, if it's about confidence building, what activities can I run to be able to come up with that as the end goal
so you
for the entire team?
You as someone who is going to be running these activities for a certain team that maybe they have called you up, what do you consider? How do you get this information from the team that you're going to run? Do you go direct to them, or do they give you like a chance to talk to the employees in a certain organization? How do you know that this is, how do you assess the needs of the employees?
First of all, what I normally do is I always engage the senior management team first, and then they give me their aspects, their feedback on some of those issues that they feel need to be handled. Then I also engage the staff, the lower management team, and even other employees. So I have those one-on-one. I just sample out. I don't engage everyone. If it's a team of maybe 10 or maybe 30 people, I get up maybe around 7. Each individual, I engage them one-on-one. They give me feedback on those specific aspects that are informed by maybe my questionnaire or anything else. And then from those, I try to also see what management gave me, and then I see how do you blend, where are those issues that are actually uniform, that are this side and are also this side, and then how do you come up with a solution in maybe a phased manner. For some, you're not going to provide a solution immediately. You're not going to run an activity today and then you get results the next step. For some, it's a phased process. Maybe you're going to run some activities for maybe a period of 6 months, spread across maybe activities once a month. Then from that, you're able to observe the progress that the team is making, and then from that way you can be sure that maybe they are making progress or not. What could be other aspects beyond what you are able to see that are actually making it so hard for people to perform? Yeah.
That is a very nice one. So that means before you even think of training a team, if you're out there and you have picked a team to start training your own team without calling Ramadan, that is wrong, first of all. But if you have decided to do that, you at least need to know why are you doing this? Who are your members in a team? What is challenging them? So that whatever activity you're going to bring into the team for team building activities is actually going to help make them think beyond what they have been thinking. And it also helps you to, work well with your bosses and with your employees. That employee-employer relationship, it becomes big. The sun is too hot. So we're going to go in another break and we're coming back.
You're watching a Youth TV, empowering you.
You guys, you're still on The Remedy and I hope you're sharing. Tell us, what do you think about team building activities? What do you think about team building? If you're there and you have a company, you have an organization, or you're an employee, you can always raise concerns. This is one way you can feel free to communicate with your bosses, to communicate with your team members. When you're doing your interview, I remember you said you're a team player, but have you really done it? Yeah, so this is the right time to really prove to us. Go there. These team building activities help. They help bring team members together. You're going to see some character in your team member that you had never seen when you were in office, in a certain meeting, or something like that. You're on The Remedy. We're here to give remedies. I have been telling you, I sing it like a song. You know the lyrics. Please use Let's Farm Shop app to order for all the fruits, all the farm products you want, sweet potatoes, matoke, mangoes, everything we shall deliver to you on your doorstep. And there is a very big company, Alfalfa Cleaning, high level cleaning organization. It cleans factories, big places, high, down, just know they clean for you very well. We are back to our topic for today, team building activities, and we have been here creating fountains, creating malls, creating very many things with Ramadan and my team from Ayit. So I'm going to beg you guys, please tell me, you guys engage in this conversation. Tell me what you have learned, or you have anything to ask Ramadan. Oh, because I've also learned something. So please tell me, in case anyone wants to share something. Since I'm here with you guys, I'll start with you.
I can ask you or Ramadan.
You ask Ramadan. Thank you.
Yeah, I've liked this, and usually
You're welcome.
there is something we call morale boosting and then creativity. I don't know if those two aspects can be combined, but there is when totally the team has lost creativity. Guys are no longer creative. Yes, they know what to do, things can be done, but the creativity goes. And there's the other aspect of people know what to do, they're creative enough, they're innovative, but now morale is down. Someone can come at the time they want, they can leave, or they can sit down. Or someone who was so good and all of a sudden they can no longer deliver. So maybe Rama, from your experience, these team building activities, how can you blend in the two? How can you use these games to spark morale in someone who has already lost it, and at the same time use them to boost the creativity that was never there before?
Thank you so much for that. It's a great question. It's actually something that is happening in our organizations every day. So first of all, you can best understand when the morale is going down or it's at its peak based on how best you understand your people. If you establish a relationship where people are free to open, and when somebody comes on a Monday and you ask them, how was your weekend? I say it was fine. It's not enough. You must go further, because for many people by default, when you say how are you, they want to say I'm fine.
Yeah.
But at times the body language that they are using to actually communicate that speaks something different. So when you call this person and maybe you engage them one-on-one, they are able to open up so many things that you don't know. Because one of the things that we don't do, we only focus on the employee when they are at work, just at work. And yet you're supposed to take care of the person as a whole. at work and also off work. Because whatever happens to him when he's off work has an impact on how he's going to perform. You get the issue? So if I'm having issues at home with maybe my wife or maybe my kids, it's going to affect my mental health. So you can't expect me to come to work and then I do my best. You know, if I have a wife who is maybe saying, you know, this has happened for me, I think we need to divorce, this and that. You cannot say that you're going to come to work and then you're at your best. But that can only happen if you create the environment where people open up. If you're a team leader, why don't you create one session, or maybe every Friday, or maybe every Monday morning, where you dedicate 1 hour to engage everyone on the team, one-on-one. They come, give you feedback on certain aspects, and you allow them to be free. What do you think we are doing so good? What do you think we are not doing so good in terms of how we treat you? What can we do better? People are going to open up on so many things. You will actually, some of the answers to do with how you can boost the morale and even the creativity, the answers are with the team. You don't need to look so far. When you engage them, these guys are going to provide you with the answers. Because in them, they know what's best for them and they know how they can bring it on the team to get the best. So create the environment where people feel free to open up and share ideas. You'll come up with so many activities. For example, I'll give you an idea. Imagine we have this organization where we don't celebrate people's birthdays. What if you come up with somebody on the team who is going to take note of everyone's birthday and they know this was born on this day? And then this one comes to work on a Monday morning, he had a birthday on a Sunday, and you all surprise him. You're singing for him, there is a cake. You're cutting it. Do you know what that is going to mean when it comes to his mood for the entire day and the whole week?
They will feel appreciated.
What about even other people? They'll feel appreciated. For some people, they think that boosting the morale and making people work, they are looking at it in the context of money. But we have also seen organizations where money does not actually, at the end of the day, deliver the results. There is something more that actually brings in the spark beyond the money. People want to feel cared for. People want to feel that there is somebody who listens and takes charge of their concerns. When that's not there, at the end of the day, you'll bring in the money, but at the end of the day, you're not getting the best out of the people. So there is a host of so many things that you can be able to bring in, and then you are able to bring in the creativity. The other aspect that I can also talk about, if we are working in this same environment every day, you're trying to come up with that app, and you feel like now people started so well with the energy, but now it's slow. Why don't we think of now going into another environment? Different environment. Travel about 5 kilometers out of town, have a day to work from that different setting, away from the usual. Guys, today we are going to do our coding from this environment, not the usual place. That is going to be totally different. If you tell people we are going to do this maybe from Igongo, or maybe we are going to somewhere in Katete, and that will be our workstation for that particular day, it's going to boost the mood, because moving alone, having that experience of what you're seeing, it has an impact on your mental health, your mood, and what you're going to be able to bring on the team. That's why for some organizations, you notice you have a senior management team, they are going to have an annual planning meeting. They may be say they are going to travel from Kampala, they go to Bunyonyi. Because year on, you are running the daily meetings from Kampala. So can we travel to a place out of Kampala, and then we see the impact it's going to bring? That traveling alone, what you're seeing on the road up to when you get to the destination, is going to bring in a different impact and perspective on how you see everything at work. So many people on the team have the ideas for you, but we have not created an environment where they feel free to open up and give those ideas. But they have all the ideas that you need to do the best.
You covered?
Oh.
That is good. You can't sing.
I think you now know why you did pork last night.
Yes. Oh yes, I want to say it out loud. He took us for pork.
Motivating you.
Yes, he was
Okay, so thank you, Rama. This whole thing looks like a vehicle, and teamwork becomes an engine. The resources we have, the vehicle has that odometer that keeps, it's either the speed or the fuel.
Yes.
And it is all within this. It's a beautiful game that we just saw here. Though, the time where we reached, and ideas, of course, we are flying in. this, that. Okay. A moment of silence.
Yeah. It's so, yeah. Let me first meet it.
Where you're getting a video.
Organization bit, balancing the rest of me with the organization.
Okay, thank you so much. The ideation bit and maybe the deadlines, I will be very honest with you. It starts with the leadership. So, whatever we are going to work on, we need to have a leader. Leader is very key. And not only a leader who is competent in those specific areas. So I'm not going to do my human resource and then I'm coming in to lead guys that are maybe involving those technical aspects. At the end of the day, we are going to have issues. Competence in terms of your background. You're not going to have a team that is doing maybe a lot of mechanical work or electrical stuff. And then at the end of the day, you have somebody who is not competent in that area. There must be somebody who is competent, who has an understanding of what we are doing, and then they know at the end of the day, how do you arrive at the end goal? That's very important, number one. Secondly, what's the quality of people that you have on the team? That's very important. At the end of the day, if you're a very good leader, but in terms of competencies, people, you'll have the resources, you have brought in everything, you have furnished that office and it's excellent, but at the end of the day, they are not bringing out the best that you expect from them. There are many aspects to do with competencies that can enable you walk so fast or move so slow. And this is what happens to most organizations. If you have a team of 8 people, where the 3 are the ones who are working so hard, putting in the hours, and then these ones are always lagging behind, it's just a matter of time before the 3 also take up the same route, like the 5. But if you have a team of 8 and the 6 or 5 are serious, they show up on time, they honor deadlines, these ones will be threatened. The only option is to match up with everyone on the team. So the team can move so fast or slow based on the majority, on how quick or slow the majority on the team are moving or performing, and the level of interest. So at the end of the day, leadership, interest, and then the competencies, they play a very key role in terms of how you deliver on these final results and how long it takes. But also the other aspect that we never look at when it comes to organizations is that continuous support, training these people. Because at the end of the day, see what COVID has done to the entire world and even the approach to work today. Many organizations have actually been awakened to the things that they have long ignored, and yet they are very key if they are to be competitive. So how often do you take these people through refresher courses? Because at the end of the day, you did a course maybe 5-10 years ago. Do you think that knowledge is still relevant? If maybe somebody did a course at Mackay maybe in 1980, 1975, is the same environment like it is today? Is the approach to teaching the same? Today we are having online classes. Back in the day it was strictly physical classes and somebody must show up. So how are you tailoring your employees or your team to be able to match up with the realities or emerging trends in the world today? So that means you must be able to look so far, and then you equip them with what is going to be necessary in the next 3-5 years. You don't wait for the 5 years and then you are struggling to do what? To build those competencies. You must be able to see where is the retail business or chain going to be 5 years from today? What do we expect in the areas of tech when it comes to education? All that. And then you anticipate, what do I need to do to the team at 8 so that in 3 years they are already there. They have a competitive edge over anyone on the team. So that's very key. The other aspect is we talked about there are things to do with our home that you may not have control about in your work setting, because for your human resource and the sort. The whole idea is people need some things you not have control over them, but for most people they want to know that there is somebody who listens and recognizes what they are going through. In most cases, somebody may be going through issues where you're not going to provide something. But how you listen and you give the response, showing them that you empathize with them can be a game changer. Showing that you're concerned about what they are going through is really important. Somebody may lose a relative. You may not contribute any money towards condolences, but you've been able to comfort them and say, look, this is going to get better. The earlier you accept that this is reality about life, the better for you. So you can contribute in a way that makes people feel that you recognize the pain without maybe you coming in to say you're going to engage me and my wife to sort out issues, but you recognize what he's going through. So that at the end of the day, when he's not performing at his best, you really understand. You don't come and say, Ronald, you're not delivering. You did not do. You see, that may actually affect his self-esteem, his belief in self and confidence. You appreciate and know he's going through something, but it's going to be handled in a phased manner. He's not going to get out of it in a week or maybe a month. It's going to be a process. Facilitate him through that process to get to a point where now he's now okay, and you can get the best out of him. Because those low and high moments, they'll always be there. But if you know that they exist, that's a question to do with how you engage the team on a deeper level, not just the hello that we have at work every day.
That's good. I hope you're out there listening. If you have any questions for Ramadan or me, you can send them in, or for the whole team. We've been here learning. Or if you want Ramadan to train your team, we're going to drop numbers down and you can call him anytime you want. I think that is the brain you need, really. Stuart and David. You guys have not said anything. You want to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Stupid first.
Through all this, we've realized that at the end of the day, in any setting of an organization, being a leader and also having to delegate work is also important, because you cannot be the marketeer, you can't be the one handling technical issues or all the other issues in the organization, and you still be the leader. We've realized that it has to be intelligence, but still at the end of the day, is when you delegate work, but oftentimes the people you are with do the work as if they do the work on completion, maybe focus on completion. Let me do this immediately. I do it immediately to be finished. Like I may say homework, do it immediately, give it to him. He sees it, either it is good or bad, he will review and put in what he wants. But let me just do it for the sake of doing it. So I don't know how you can also address to that challenge and put in mind the competencies of people as well.
Continuing from David's point, actually he has exhausted all I wanted to say. It's like as if I have gotten a free life coach here, free of charge. It was good having Ramadan with us here. Yeah, I watched YouTube videos of life coaching. Yeah, how to do this, how to do this. I thought YouTube is everything. But when someone comes to speak to you physically, there's a difference. Actually, what Ramadan has done today, you will find on YouTube how to do this. But what he has given us right now is really, like 100 more times greater than watching directly from a YouTube channel.
True.
And this is a free lesson. I've not paid for it, but it's the best. I've learned how to build a fountain of shoes with people who have been working with, we have not worked in a team together, but we are able to come up with this. And Ramadan, thank you. This is a free lesson that I've not paid, but I've helped to contribute.
Yeah, you do not pay anything on the remedy.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. It's a very tricky thing to delegate. But I think one of the things that stands out is that getting to a point where you delegate to people is a process, Because for most of the people who are experienced in those specific areas where they are doing so good, it's been really a process. They are putting in time, they are putting in those hours and so many days of inconvenience to get to where they are. So it might be very hard for you to kick off from a point where you immediately start delegating. You are going to go through it in a phased manner, where you assign roles. If I have this kind of project that you're supposed to work on and it has 5 or 6 steps, can you now for the start let somebody handle it? Or maybe one, and then you're there to supervise and then observe what they are doing. Up to that point where you're convinced that now they have perfected the first 2 aspects of what we are working on, the last 3, I have some other 2 people who can handle, because given their experience, they have already mastered how you handle the first 2 steps. But you must be there in a sense that you don't be so much involved, but you create this kind of trust and allow people to explore, because that's the only way through which they can learn. So when they feel like somebody is there to give me this positive criticism, you know, the way how we also criticize is very key. For most people, we are looking out for the negatives and then we criticize. But people need what we call, in communication skills, we call it supportive feedback. When I'm training people public speaking, somebody shows up on stage, they present it is their first day. They have not done their best. But at the end of the day, you must recognize that they have been able to put in the time and also work on stage. That's a win. The rest that happens is learned through a process. So give them feedback that boosts their confidence. But in most cases, we look for that point where we want to immediately come in and then you criticize. And then that now takes people off. They feel like they are not appreciated enough. The time they are put in is not recognized. So I think it might be so hard for you to reach to a point where you say you now entirely let people do things. It is a process, and especially when you're maybe running a startup, those are some of the challenges that actually exist. But how you address them, I think, is the game changer. It is what is going to actually allow you now to grow from a point where you're now a startup to now getting to a point where now you're an established entity. Because when you fail to address those challenges on a daily basis, they are going to keep you in there without making any form of progress. So get in there, supervise people closely, observe everyone on the team, identify those who are actually matching up so well. Now next time, let these ones watch over the rest. You reach a point where you feel maybe 80% they are doing so well, by the other 10 or 20, I need to be involved to make sure that now the end goal is excellent. For me, I think for things to do with even hands-on, you master through experience and also doing it. That's how you get better at it. If it's our producer or maybe anyone else, with the time you dedicate is going to largely impact how you progress and become excellent. The way how she does the show, 10 years from today, if she's hosting the show, she'll be totally different. And if she watches the videos also, or maybe from the time she started, she might have noticed that she has done a tremendous job in terms of improvement from the time she started, because that experience of running a show every Saturday is transitional in itself. There is a lot that you pick up from it, and at the end of the day you say, now I think next time I need to introduce this way, next time I need to do this, next time I need to do this when I'm closing or ending my show. Of course, also learning from other experiences of people who are hosting shows and are experienced at it for some good time. So
in other words, you don't delegate and you go away. You delegate and monitor closely.
yes, you monitor closely, to get the results that you want. They need to feel that there is an eye that is watching over them, until that point where you're convinced that now I can be away for a week or a month, but on the team there is even someone who can be able to take charge in my absentia.
That's so good. Thank you so much for being here with us. We have been with Ramadan and the whole team from 8. Okay, this is not the whole team, but some of the team members from 8. Yes, I know you're glad to see some of them. Yeah, these are the people that Amore is working with behind there. It is a great team. As I had told you before, I ate pork yesterday. That was one of the team building activities. Yeah, so I don't know if you have a last word, Ramadan, for our people so that we can close.
Thank you so much. For me, it's been a pleasure really running this activity with you guys, and I think this is something that organizations can introduce and they become systematic in their day-to-day setting. Just like you have that lunch break, which is a routine. You can also have this maybe for the start, you have it once a month, because there are going to be those low moments and you need to boost the morale. But also secondly, people need to have fun. It's not going to be about serious stuff every day. And the only thing you can do is to take them in an outdoor setting and then they engage in activities like this. Thirdly, you need to break those barriers between the senior management team and everyone on the team, because we tend to have this kind of feeling that this is a boss. It's when you meet them in the corridor, you want to take another route because you have that perception of this is a boss. So in some way, it affects the relationship that you have with everyone on the team. But just imagine here, you have maybe a senior management team, you have a CEO with everyone on the team, and then they are also removing their shoes. That humility and being humble to accept everyone and you get engaged in some way break so many barriers, and people get to understand each other. You notice that this person you have been actually fearing all the time, he's a free person to connect with. And that's how you get the best out of your people. The more you create a barrier, the more you're going to be disadvantaged in terms of getting the best out of these people. The more you create that openness through a blend of activities like this, the better for you as a manager. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Thank you so much for being with us all through. If you have just joined, go back a little and watch everything. Trust me, you do not want to miss. It was fun. I'm on my feet. My shoes are here on a fountain. It was tremendous. Yeah, thank you so much for always being with us. I'm here wearing a nice cape. Of course, I got mine from guzayuji.com, www.guzayuji.com. They are very cheap. I'm not going to say now because some of you might hold your hands. They have the logo and of course the Uncle t-shirts. Which one, Stuart? Owituni Nkore. Those are on www.guzayuji.com. I told you the application is coming very soon, and if you have a place that needs to be cleaned, you can know it's called Alfalfa High Cleaning Company. Those guys clean like there was no yesterday. And if you have a party or a nice place you always want to go to, Homeliness is your place, and everything will be covered on ATV. Thank you so much for being with me this Saturday. Thank you so much for listening to Ramadan. If you want to host him for your organization one time for team building activities, the contact is going to be down below. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye.